my advice will be check if you have the liberty to build your program. One of the things that Chicago has is like you can choose to follow courses and to have great professors, so you can check which courses are taught that year, which professors are the ones who are involved, what kind of special programs or seminars are in that particular year.
As to the choice of the university, I completely agree. I think you have, again, the best universities here. You have to take into consideration what's your purpose, and I think it is mainly with what you work, the type of work you do, the type of client the type of city you want to live. It's a small city or a big city. So, and I really think that Chicago has, it's kind of the best of everything, because you have the best university, the program is great, the program is small. So I think compared to other universities, so what I think also makes the experience even more particular and great, because you are close to the people. You do it together with the JDs, you have the interdisciplinary aspect, and the city is great, the city is beautiful.
And what is the recommendation I would give? Don't think too long. Don't think about how can I finance it. There's always a way to finance it. And it will pay off eventually. It will pay off tremendously. What second advice I would give? Pick a small law school. Pick a law school where you have a chance to interact with the Americans, where you have a chance to interact with the LLMs, your fellow foreign students, and where you have a chance to interact with also the stars from the faculty, which is definitely the case here at the University of Chicago Law School.
And especially for people coming from Indonesia, the teaching style there is very relaxed. So unless you already work, I already worked for like 6 years before I do my LLM. And it helps me to get ready to study here, because here you need to read like 100 to 500 pages a week, things like that. And it's very difficult if you don't have any kind of experience like that before. So I want people, when they want to go to the United States, prepare for that. You have to read a lot of things, you need to write a lot of things, and then you will be required to talk and to discuss ideas. This is not the place for you to just sit in silence, right?
I would always wanted to have a foreign experience, both for a personal and professional, from both a personal and professional point of view. And coming to the US especially was my main goal, because of the excellence in the academy and in the studies, as well from a professional perspective. We work with a lot of American clients. Our legislation is mainly based, our corporate legislation is a mirror, or is basically based on the US corporate legislation. So that would make a lot of sense to me from a professional perspective.
I guess it's a matter of knowing the common law system in a society that it clearly works the system, to contrast that what is happening and we have been taught in civil law systems. That's one of the interesting parts of being here in the United States rather than another common law country. The other one is the melting pot. United States is not only a melting pot for people or immigrants, it's also for ideas. And especially in the economic area or in the social area, That's something that you only find in a really top university, the possibility to go to classes outside law school. That's unique.
It is important, if you go back to your country and if you have business or political relations with the United States, that you do understand how Americans are thinking, and therefore you have to go to that country and you have to learn and you have to work together with those people. And something which is particular about the University of Chicago is that the LLM program is integrated in the overall program here. That is, we don't have only special LLM classes and they are separated from the rest of the US students. No. Here you have, like everybody else in the class, the Americans, the foreign students, and there you really learn how Americans are thinking. How do they develop their ideas? How do they develop their systems here? And that really helps when you're back in your country to bridge it.
Back in Indonesia, interdisciplinary approach is not a thing yet. So when I read about University of Chicago and then get admitted here, it's just like I'm finding my home. I'm always fascinated by law and economics. During my undergraduate days, I do my research on that kind of thing, and that's why when I knew about University of Chicago, that's why I picked and want to do an LLM here. Actually, I know because I read a lot of Richard Posner and Gary Becker's writings and articles, and that's why I decided this is the place that I should go. When I choose Chicago, it's also because I also want to apply to the JSD program. I am in the JSD student. I have to say, I mean, it's 2 years. I've spent 2 years here in Chicago. It's the best part of my life so far.
In my case, I was interested and I was looking for an interdisciplinary experience. And an American university like Chicago provides that, you know, not only from the legal point of view, but economics, sociology, whatever. Thinking about that and the idea to know people from all over the world, to know ideas and mindsets different from my mind, make me easy to apply to an American university, and in particular to the University of Chicago.
We had such a great experience here meeting people from all over the globe. So not only our American friends here, but starting from Latin America through all of Europe to Asia. And we could build a network which lasted, in our case, for about 20 years now. And that is fantastic, because also from a professional point of view, this network will pay off eventually tremendously.
I think there's no other experience that can, in such a kind of short period of time, makes such a difference for you, both in a personal and in a professional perspectives. So it was great. What I learned here was really practical. I mean, in terms of, I can really practice that. I can use that in my profession, in my day-to-day work.
Well, in my case, it was the interest of grab ideas, have a really strong theoretical background, and put that in practice, you know, to use it professionally and personally. And Chicago, his way of study and the way of check and discuss ideas really attracts me a lot. And their practical approach is not only an ivory tower. You really get into things, but with the idea to apply those things or change those things. And that's something that I wanted to do, because I wanted to take in law, use that law in order to go into other areas, finance, business, you know. And I think the Chicago approach is unique in that sense.
Out of our class, 45 people, we have 3 couples who married, have children, and are still together 20 years thereafter. So the first thing is the personal component, and the other thing is the professional side of it. When you practice law and you do international transactions and practice international law, it really helps that in every corner of the world you have a good friend with whom you share some sort of really good memories, and you know exactly how this guy or this woman is ticking, and you can call somebody up. In my perspective, from Frankfurt, Germany, in Tokyo, in Singapore, in Buenos Aires, in New York, no matter where it is, and you have a trust relationship already established. That is something which is, again, you can't buy for money.
But for example, the Brazilians, we are close. We meet frequently. We have professional relationships, and also with the foreigners, Europeans, Asians, and Americans. So we keep in touch.
One thing which is important, it's not only a network of LLMs, you know. You are going to find Chicago people in any major institution, any major law firm, in any major bank, you know. And when you are working or traveling or doing business or trying to build something, you will always find somebody from Chicago, you know. So the experience is not limited to the people that you know or you are going to know in the LLM program. It's all the class, you know, even people who are not in that time of the year with you. You are talking with former graduates that by the only fact that they know that having shared the same experience as you will get a lot of relationship from that. It's like connecting dots, not only from the ideas perspective, but from the personal perspective.